So right here, this is the rear suspension. Really, what's up, everybody? So Damian and Gerry here, DG Lifestyle. So today I'm going to be going over my Fox suspension. Now, this Fox suspension is something that's been coming for a good while now because I have been so excited to be able to improve my ride. Like my Audi is right here. This car has been able to. My wife and I just bought this recently, and it's such an amazing car. So after being inside of this, I really wanted to get my suspension updated. So that's how that is. But so what I did have before was some stock VDS suspension. What I mean by stock VDS suspension, basically I got the 6.5-inch lift on VDS, and it came with pretty much everything that you needed. I got that professionally installed, but I will show you guys. Sorry, there's a shit ton of wind here. So these shocks, what I had before, very just blah, right? So here you go. So that's what I had before. Now, what I have today is way better, like astronomically better. Basically, put it like this. My truck now is riding like this car. The Audi A7, or let's see here, Audi A7, such an immaculate view, and I love it so much. I love Audi. I've had Audis in the past, and they're just fucking powerhouses like crazy. But anyways, last night I started working on my suspension. It was probably one of the easiest things I've done yet to my truck, and so I was very happy about that. So basically, started on the rear. And I looked up some YouTube videos about it, and it was kind of difficult because there wasn't a whole lot that people were saying, as in like that was helpful material. Now, a lot of people are saying that you do have to jack up your truck on the front, and then you don't have to do it on the rear. However, I somewhat say yes and I somewhat say no, because on the rear, I just backed up on my driveway right here. I just literally backed up, and then last night and had it up there, and to where my weight was actually differentiated to the front. So that got a lot of weight off of the rear, in which that was a lot easier too. So and then today what I did was I didn't have a jack for my truck before, so I just went over to Home Depot, got a jack, and just got the pump one, the 6-ton one, and so now it just fits in one of the cargo compartments in my truck. So what I did was jacked it up by the frame. So that was the front was a pain in the ass, because how the shop Epic 4x4, which I do not suggest to go to them because they have terrible customer service. I'll give a few reasons why of Epic 4x4 over in Dallas, Texas, but that's that. So, but basically, the front was a pain in the ass for me today, but the rear was the easiest, and I'm gonna go over both of those right now. Okay, so right here, this is the rear suspension. Really beautiful. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. Oh my lord, so nice. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all the rear end is that whenever you go to park it, if you're gonna be on an incline. If you're going to be if your driveway inclines or anything like that, that's what I definitely recommend. My brother-in-law told me about that, and it worked for me. So right here, you have this bolt that you just take this one bolt off, and I believe that was I'm pretty sure it was a 17 actually. So and this came off with a ratchet. So I just took this off, and I came down here and took it off right here, and you did have to compress. I lift, so it was a really easy thing for me to be able to compress this whole deal. Very easy stuff. So here you just take these out. In order of how I did it was whenever you're taking this stuff off, it doesn't matter how you're taking it off. You can do from the bottom or from the top. What I did was I took this bolt off first, and then I took this bolt off, and then I basically had this part come out on the old suspension, and it was able to be worked a lot easier. So whenever you slide this part out, all you do is, because it's now hanging at that point, you just slide off and get it right off. So what I did last night was to put it back on, is to go ahead and slip the top part on first. Once you slip this part on, then you just you can put the bolt on it or not. You don't have to. I didn't. But basically I went ahead and compressed it enough, and I did it like to where it was compressed to where like this part of the shock was up here, and then I was able to have enough basically seconds, if you will, about 5 or 8 seconds for it to come down and be put into place right here. And then that's whenever I started messing with it. This is a one-person job. The same thing for this one. It's the exact same thing, 100%. So don't really worry about it. But for a 2013 Ram 3500, you'll literally, some other trucks have extra components, but this one does not. So you literally just go ahead and take that bolt off right there, and you come here and do the same thing that you did. Oh man, sorry you guys. So you basically do the same thing on this one that you did with this one. Very, very easy stuff. Very, very easy. Now, come into the front of the vehicle, which is what I worked on today in the driveway, okay? This one's a little bit difficult because, basically, oh man. So the top part of the shock was the biggest pain in the ass for myself. I actually had to go in and, basically I had to get long story short, I had to get a long piece, or basically some extensions on a half drive for an impact drill. Half drive is what I used. Went to Home Depot, got a multi-link system, which is literally just 2 extensions in a package, 20 bucks. And then that one was a 19 on the top. So for me, that was 19. So what I had to do was actually come in. So what I had to do was come in from here and basically come in and put the drive in here, and it was able to come in and be matched up right here. So literally you just come in from the top, put it down here, and it took me forever. If you have some shitty suspension or some shitty shocks right now, what I did was put a vice grip and I put it up here on my old suspension and just clamped it on there, and then it came over, it locked itself right here, which is great because it meant that I didn't have to have another person to be able to get this install done. And I just laid on the impact drill, and this bolt just came right up. So then after that, basically I was able to jack it up right here. Basically, let's see here. Let's see. So I was able to jack it up right here on the frame itself, and obviously, and what I used was the jack, the pump jack. That's very, very easy stuff to be able to use. Thank God I have a gym, because thankfully I have a gym, because I was just able to use my 10-pound plates and stack those up, and then use my jack to be able to make up for the space that I had to gain. So from there, I went ahead and went right here, and there's on my suspension, there's a lock right here. So I thought I was gonna have to put something in there, like a wrench, but I didn't notice that was already there. I thought it was something separate, but it's actually the nut on the other side that fastens these two together. So went ahead, jacked it up from here, and then once I jacked it up fully, the tire wasn't even off the ground. It was just enough for the suspension to leave itself, so I wouldn't have to compress it as much. After the top was done, what I did was came down here, drilled it out, and it was like literally maybe this much that I had to compress it, and so it was really easy. How I did it for the sequence that I did was obviously like I said before. I took the top off first, the top nut off first, so there was still compression on there, and I had the suspension on or the shock, my old shock that is, for a few years, or for definitely a few years. So there was definitely some weathering there, so it was a little bit tough for me to take it off. And then what I found out is that Epic 4x4 ended up drilling it or fastening it so fucking hard that it was almost impossible for me to take it off. So that's why the vice grips came into play. So I'll go more on Epic 4x4 as well. So what I ended up doing was to take the old suspension off, just basically took it off from the bottom, boom, and then it slid right out overall. And then for me to put this new suspension in here, I actually started at the bottom, so I put this side in first, and then once I put that screw in, then I was able to press it from the top. I was able to press it and compress it in there, and then make it fit inside here. So that was really easy for me. Then I just did a reverse step of what I did to take all of that stuff off. So then on the other side of it, it's the exact same thing. It was a little bit easier for me to be able to do the driver's side, which a lot of people start on the driver's side, which they say it's the easiest part, which, I mean, they're both, after you get a system down, it's really easy overall. So, but yeah, just to recap, whenever you do it, I would definitely suggest for the rears to put the top part on, basically the top part on first, and then compress the bottom, so you can just put it in there. Or you can do it a different way. You can put the bottom in first, put the nut in, and then compress it, and then have the top of the shock to just slide it on board on there. And the same thing for the front of the vehicle as well. So with the front of the vehicle, I would definitely be strict on starting, basically put the bottom of the shock in first, and then compress it, and then put it up in there. So I lift 24/7, so that's why I'm saying it was a way easier deal for me to be able to just compress it. There's a lot of people on YouTube that have problems with compressing this stuff, which I had zero issues. So just press that shit in and go on with the day. Took it on for a test drive, and it is definitely worth the money. I think Exchange Arc Automotive, the owner is a really good friend of mine, one of my best friends. So he has helped me build everything so far. Customer service is just outstanding. He has a very speedy rate on getting your packages out to you, so that's a really big deal as well. My shocks came from Exchange Arc Automotive. Once again, Exchange Arc, Sean, thank you so much, and Angel as well. Thank you guys so much for making this all happen for me. I really do appreciate it. It definitely does not go unnoticed. My tires I get through Exchange Arc Automotive as well, so they have really competitive prices within the tire game. Basically, if any of your off-road needs, I definitely suggest to go through there, because it is a really huge deal. Very much so worth it. They're not raping you on prices like 4-wheel parts is or Epic 4x4 is, so that's how all that is. So just letting you guys know of a little thing is that my 12.5 wheels, and my tires are 37-inch tires. So these are Toyo RTs. I've been rocking these tires for a few years now as well. Back when I had my demolition company, I loved these tires. I fell in love with it immediately as soon as I got them. Got me through a lot of different things. Mud and stuff, and having an extreme amount of weight on the rear end of my truck and going through mud, it got me through it all. So I definitely appreciate Toyo and their quality. I go for quality over quantity. So in the quality of the ride, there's honestly like zero noise on the road that you hear. It's really all just the wind in the truck. So for me, that's a really big deal in general. So once again, you guys, like, comment, subscribe, click everything down below, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it all. And yeah, so hope you have an amazing day. Bye.